meet number 3 of the weekend brings us to Coralville, Iowa at Extreme Arena, the home of the Iowa Hawkeyes, the hosts, with Michigan State nationally title contending, Penn State top 25, and the Washington Huskies. They've been to 3 regionals in a row, looking for their first Big Ten meet win of the year. Well, you just saw UCLA, after their 21 Pac-12 titles, win their first Big Ten title in the regular season. They clinched the regular season with their quad meet win right here on Big Ten Network. Minnesota won the first quad meet of the weekend, and now Michigan State tries to get to 6-1 in the Big Ten with a win right here. We're glad you're with us, national champion Jade Honest. I'm Con Runyon. The postseason is almost here. This format feels like the postseason. We haven't even seen the best from these teams yet.
Yes, each team is fired up to compete tonight, but all of them feel like they haven't reached their full potential. So the universal goal this evening is to fire on all 4 cylinders to reach those numbers they know that they can hit.
And with Gabby Stephen, Michigan State usually does. The reigning Big Ten champions led by their captain, Gabby Stephen.
Yes, Gabby is known for her tenacity and grit and is extremely talented athlete, has the entire package, a phenomenal leadership, and truly the backbone of this program.
Well, for Washington, cannot wait to watch Taylor Russin on the bars.
Taylor is truly a rock for the Huskies, an amazing leader, and Coach Jessa is so thankful she came back for a 5th year because she has a ton of experience that's invaluable for this team.
With Maddie Johnston, the leadoff on vault for Penn State, somebody to watch.
An athlete that represents everything Penn State is, leads by example, and she's been through those ups and downs and has persevered each and every time. She exudes calm, cool, and collective energy as well.
And for the host, the Iowa Hawkeyes, Karina Munoz, will see her all around. Especially excited to watch her on beam today.
Yes, a rock star of an athlete, so talented, naturally gifted in this sport, and has so much left in the tank. Spectacular in the all-around, and she's been focusing on making her bars a little more sound, so we'll be looking forward to that tonight.
Munoz's teammate, Orly Tran, one of 3 Olympians for the Hawkeyes.
Yes, and she handled that transition from the Paris Olympics really well. She's consistent in the all-around, so steady and disciplined in everything she does, and she makes sure to take care of herself mentally, physically, and emotionally to show up for her team.
We will see Tran and the Hawkeyes on beam first, with some soon-to-be Hawkeyes looking on maybe quad meet number 3 of the weekend of the Big Ten coming up next. 5 Penn State bringing some fans after their upset win of Ohio State at Rec Hall last weekend. And the Nittany Lions will be back home to host in the postseason here in a couple of weeks. Big Ten Weekly Awards. Gabby Stephen, who you'll see in this 3rd Big Ten quad meet, is Gymnast of the Week again. She's won that award several times throughout her decorated career. And 2 Michigan Wolverines, Carly Bauman and Jazara Ranger, taking home Event Specialist and Freshman of the Year. They were off to Saturday night's first Big Ten quad meet against Minnesota. So this is an interesting day, a special day for Jen Llewellyn. Not only did the Hawkeyes get to host, but she sees her former team. She was the Washington head coach for 3 years before taking the Iowa job this year.
Yes, yeah, it was a smooth and effortless transition, and so she said it's been an exciting year thus far.
And for Michigan State, the Spartans come in as the number 7 team in the country, hoping to go to Big Tens in a couple of weeks and repeat as the postseason champion. Mike Rose, the 3-time reigning Big Ten Coach of the Year.
And he is truly great. We were on a call with him, and he just has the best personality, and he's very passionate about this team. But he did mention that they haven't reached their full potential on any event, so we are looking, for more technically sound routines where they aren't giving tenths away.
He gave a great line about the event order. We'll give you that here in a moment. But for Penn State, Sarah Brown in her 8th year. Last year, they had their highest team average score in school history and went to their first ever regional final.
Yeah, and they've been hit hard with injuries, but she has so much to say about the freshman class and how, they wouldn't have gotten this opportunity and experience to step up into the lineups if they weren't hit hard with these injuries. So she's very proud of them, and we'll see a lot of new faces this evening.
And then the final head coach, a homecoming for Jessa Hansen Parker, former Iowa gymnast and assistant coach. Tons of family here from Des Moines, just a 2-hour drive away, to to see her coach the Huskies.
Yeah, she wasn't even able to give us the number of tickets she had to give out. So definitely a fun homecoming for her. And this team is also highly motivated and looking to build brick by brick each week as well.
It could be a whole section. It could be some people wearing Hawkeye gold and Husky purple.
Yeah.
Those are probably Jessa's family members if you see them on screen today. So this is how the event order will go. It's similar to the postseason. It's Olympic order, and Washington starts on vault. We'll move to bars, then beam, then floor. And Michigan State starting on the floor is the number 7 team in the country and the favorite heading into this meet. What are your thoughts with a little bit different of a rotation order for Penn State, Iowa, and Michigan State? How do you adjust as an athlete coming into the squad?
Yeah, I think with vault specifically comes to mind because you're so used to just kind of drilling them out. Vault is always the first event to finish first, and now that they're being lined up with beam, they're going to have like a little more waiting time between each gymnast. But the rest of the other events, you know, the routines are just longer, so it should run smoothly. But I think vault is just going to feel a little just timing-wise different for the athletes for sure.
And a dual meet. Vault is waiting for bars to finish.
Yeah.
Shorter routine.
Absolutely.
Than beam. So
exactly.
A little more suspense that gets built up when you watch the vaulters today. Looks like Caitlin Williams is ready to go to start this quad meet here in Iowa, coming off a career high 9.75 for the Huskies in this event last week.
Yeah, in the leadoff, you really want to set the tone for the rest of the athletes. Yurchenko full. Just a slight scooch back on that landing, but she kept her body straight throughout. Really great form as well, so that was a great start for the Huskies.
Well, this should be a very comfortable way to begin for Washington, just like a home meet starting on vault. Maddie Johnston, the leadoff on bars for Penn State.
It's a beautiful toe shoe into that Maloney. She's going to go into a bail in that low, high to low bar transition, and she's great on bars, has really good form throughout, and she's going to finish off with that full pirouette into a double tuck. Finds that landing, and she sticks it. Another great leadoff position for Penn State.
A great beginning for Maddie Johnston and Penn State, coming off their season high as a team, 49-225. And their meet a week ago against Ohio State. Olympian Cassie Lee, beam specialist for the Hawkeyes.
Yes, and she did have a balance check on that series early in her routine, so that's going to be a deduction for that. But she does overall make beam look very effortless, so she just wants to finish off strong.
Lainey Harkness leads off on floor for Michigan State, season high of 9.9.
Yeah, Delaney's going to open up with a huge full in. Skill that's ranked at an E level. Very difficult.
The hardest in college.
Yep, those E level skills. So that's how you'll that she'll just have, you know, those 2 pass routines when they have those E level skills at the first.
Kristen Lynn follows up Caitlin McWilliams for Washington, who went 9.725 on Washington's first vault. That's the goal for Washington today, Janae. They counted 2 9.6s last week. They want to go 9.7 and above.
Yep, 9.7 and above for sure. And Kristen Lynn is able to do that. She gets great distance. She has good form throughout. She does have that kind of significant step, so that's going to be over, you know, about over a 10th. So we'll see what the judges do with that. A little bit, so she just needs to open up her hips to take.
Lainey Harkness wraps up on floor for Michigan State. Season high 9.9 last week. Technician all the way through for Michigan State on the floor.
Absolutely. And they're just so stellar on floor, and they were very excited to start on floor. Coach Mike said, pleased as punch to start on floor. And I just had never heard that phrase in my life, and I will start using it from now on.
I was going to say, that was the first thing out of his mouth on our call. We were like, what do you feel about the rotation word?
Yeah.
Pleased as punch.
Oh my goodness.
You lit up both of our days with that comment.
Right, absolutely.
Ilka Juk on the left on beam for Iowa. It's been very consistent the last couple of meets with a 9-8 last week.
Yeah, she has that difficult, unique. That flick lay. Beautifully done so far. Cassie had some balance checks throughout her routine, so they're
Alina Virova just finished up her first competitive bars routine of the season. Getting late in the year, hadn't seen her in that spot yet.
Yeah, they
wraps up out of the 2 spot for Penn State.
Yeah, they absolutely need that depth in the bars lineup, so it's good that they have her back.
Kayla Tucker, first time in the floor lineup this month for Michigan State.
If you saw on your left-hand side, Ilka just did a full twisting back handspring, which is extremely difficult. She has difficulty throughout her entire beam routine, and that's just a skill that is very unique that you don't see very often at all. Nailed that landing. Exactly what I think that's a perfect way to build back up the momentum after a kind of shaky first routine.
Iowa starting on what they consider their weakest event, so they get to knock beam out of the way to begin and move on to floor, vault, and bars. Emily Innes for Washington, season high last week in Champaign, 9-8.
See your Yurchenko full from her. She has a great vault. She gets good distance, great pop off the horse too. Just that slight hop back. But she flares out, which helps her find that landing, and that's why she's so good at this event. So we'll take another look at this vault. Watch that block off the table, and she keeps... but did get those heels together, so exactly what the judges are looking for.
Our head coach, Jessa Hansen-Parker, liked it, greeted her with a smile and a hug. Kayla Tucker's first floor routine in a month competitively just wrapped up for Michigan State.
It's so great to see her back in the lineup because she has such beautiful tumbling. She's a taller gymnast, long legs, so to just see her tumble and get the height that she's able to get is just stunning to watch.
That first routine for Delaney Harkness for Michigan State was a 9.875. Just off the season high for Harkness, as Gabby Galentine is on bars for Penn State.
Gabby is very fluid throughout her routine. Huge straddle Jaeger directly connected into that bail. Full pirouette into that double tuck and nailed that landing. Exactly what they want to see.
Bars specialist for Penn State, Gabby Galentine. Haley Tyson, this is her first year in Iowa's lineup in any capacity. It's her 4th year of college. A really cool story for Iowa to see her compete a bunch.
Yeah, she has an amazing story. So she transferred from Minnesota but never competed in those 2 years and didn't compete in her first year at Iowa. So this is her first year in lineups as a senior. So a true testament to her tenacity and determination.
2 years at Minnesota for Haley Tyson, last year at Iowa, and now this 4th year of college, a big part of this beam rotation. And Ellie Beaufay.
Haley nailed that landing. That was a cartwheel. 1.5 dismount, and you can see how excited coaching staff, teammates, and Elle unfortunately had to step out of bounds on floor, so that's going to be an extra 10. Here's another look at that dismount, and look how she opens up and is just ready for that landing. Sticky feet, and look at her teammates. There's no better feeling.
Home crowd, the teammates behind you. After a good beam from Tyson. Kira Bolden for Washington on vault.
Yeah, she's still finding her rhythm. She had that hop out of her landing. She was coming back from a knee injury, so seeing her back on vault is really great because she is a truly powerful gymnast that brings a lot of power and dynamics to this team. But again, keeps her body straight throughout, but she lands with her knees locked out, so she doesn't absorb the landing, which is why she had to take that hop, which is going to be around a 10th and a half deduction.
Jay, two athletes pictured on the left. You have Kira Bolden battling injury.
Yep.
You mentioned the knee, and Ellie Beaufet has been battling hamstring and hip flexor issues for Michigan State.
Yes, and we were speaking with Coach Mike, and he said, you know, we're looking to see her in more lineups next season, just once they, you know, nurse that hamstring.
Karina Munoz, one of your athletes to watch coming in her first routine of the day on beam.
Yeah, she was just extremely dynamic and attacks the beam when she's up on those 4 inches, and she starts off with that switch leap, switch half, into a beat jump. Beautiful connection thus far. Got Elena Arova on the right side, finishing up her bar routine. And unfortunately had to cast over, so they're gonna have a fall in the lineup, but hopefully they won't need to count it. They're gonna want to drop that score. She goes prepping for that dismount, double layout, and nails that landing. So just the way you want to finish a routine following a fall.
One of the showstoppers of this meet on the right, Gabby Stephen getting ready to go for the Spartans on floor. Lex Uyenga on the vault for Washington.
And that brings a lot of power to this lineup as well. She tried to stick that landing. She actually had to take that slight hop forward, but she gets great pop off the table in that Yurchenko full. Gonna have another look at that. So look at the pop off the table, but I think she was anticipating the landing, trying to stick it, and sometimes when you do that, you end up under rotating a little bit, so she had to take that scooch forward.
Tran, one of 3 Iowa gymnasts that was at the Paris Games. She was part of Team Canada, part of the 5th place team finish over the summer.
And I love watching her on the balance beam. She just has beautiful toe point. She's going to start up with a front aerial into a back handspring. She was a little off center, but she kept that connection going, so she should still get credit for that. Beautiful leaps, really hitting that 180 that the judges are looking for. And on the balance beam, what you look for is effortlessness. You know, the routines need to look effortless. Those 180 splits on jumps and leaps, connections, and the sticking of the dismount. I know you mentioned that this is Iowa's weakest event, but they definitely are pushing through. Quite a few of the athletes have been off center or having little balance checks here and there, but you can tell that they are fighting for every 10. Pike gainer off the end, nailed that landing. And Jen's happy with it.
She knows they're having a good day on beam. Ilka Juk already went for a season high 9.85 and a good routine from Orly Tran here.
Yeah, no, she is very solid, and I think that's why Jen mentioned that she's just very steady and consistent, and you can always count on her. Even with, you know, that slight balance check we saw in her series, she still is able to recenter herself and make sure those hips are square to stay on the beam.
Mary McDonough for Washington on vault.
Great vault, Yurchenko full, just good form in the air throughout the twist, and also gets that amplitude as well.
Before that vault for Mary McDonough, all 9 7s or better, which was the goal for Washington. 5 scores will count out of the 6 routines. You get to drop the lowest score. Now Gabby Stephen, the all Big Ten gymnast, ready on the floor.
I absolutely love her first pass. It's pretty unique. It's a combination pass. She's going to do a punch front into a front handspring Rudy. Very unique. You don't see that often at all in college gymnastics, so I love that they really bring versatility into their lineups.
State that's been basically a slam dunk for a 9-8 or better.
Yes, absolutely. She is so consistent, and speaking with the coaches, they just mentioned how strong her mental toughness is. She's such a leader and has always been like that since her freshman year, and so just seeing her grow and now being a senior athlete, she's just so seasoned, and they know that they can count on her.
Is the anchor on beam for the Iowa Hawkeyes, ready to go in her routine.
She's a little off center on that connection series, her flick lay, but you see how when she turns to the side, she decided to do some dance with her arms to kind of cover up that balance check. That's some ways you can do to kind of, play into it so the judges don't necessarily know notice a full wobble.
Up on the beam for Iowa. Danny Latronica out of the 5 spot on bars for Penn State with a season high of 9-9.
Yeah, and Danny Latronica is a great swinger, beautiful form, toe point, and she has this huge dismount. She wasn't able to find the landing that time, but she just gets so much height. She does a toe shoot, high calf dismount, and again, another unique skill you don't see a lot in college gymnastics, and she does it so well. So she did have to take that slight step back, but again, great routine for Danny.
It's been a routine that's been hit after hit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she is a bars worker for sure that they can always count on.
A reminder of how bright the future is for Penn State with the freshman Latronica. And Nikki Smith, high of 9-9-2-5 on the floor.
Starting off with some Beyonce before this huge tumbling pass. She's going to open up with a full in. She is always ready for that landing. On floor, the judges look for control on the landings. You don't want to be under-rotated or under-rotated. Leaps. Again, the judges look for that 180 split, and they also want to make sure you complete the full leaps around. So if you're doing a split full, making sure you hit that full 360. Last pass, punch front to double tap, combination pass. Again, found that landing, complete control, doing what she does best.
A beautiful bounce back for Nikki Smith. She under-rotated on that double tuck in the final pass last week.
Oh, did she? Yeah. So we're going to get another look at that. She didn't under-rotate this time. Punch front through to her double tuck, and look how her chest is up on the landing. Her front foot slides maybe just a little bit, but again, that is us watching it in slow-mo, so the judges may have not caught that. But that is also something that judges look for. If you lunge and that front foot slides back, that'll be about a half a tenth. So, but that should absolutely be a great score.
Cassie Barbonente became the anchor in mid-February after Jessica Johansson's season-ending injury for Penn State.
Cassie is very strong on this event. She's going to go into a blind to a huge piked Jaeger. Directly connecting into that bail. She caught a little close, but covered it very well and hit that last cast handstand. That is what the judges look for, that vertical handstand within 10 degrees. Double layout dismount. She tried to stick it. She had to take that slight hop forward, but again, they are very happy with this lineup because, again, they're a little short on the athletes due to those injuries, so they just want to hit all 4 events. Just another look at that dismount, and you can tell, like I mentioned on vault, sometimes when you anticipate and you're trying to stick, it'll sometimes cause you to under-rotate a little bit, so she had to take that slight hop forward.
The top 10 in the Big Ten on floor, Skylar Schulte, the best in the country.
And you're going to see why. She is spectacular on floor. I also love this move right here. Gets me every time. She's going to open up with a full in. Again, very difficult first pass to open up. Beautifully done. Perfect control on that landing. Now it's time to have fun. Beautiful switch half into a popa, into a straddle, and again, she's really extending past that 180 split that the judges look for, really showing off her flexibility. She was gearing up for her last pass, combination pass, punch front through to double tuck, and sticks the landing. She does that fairly often, too.
It's a very repeatable performance from a wonderful performer, Skylar Schulte.
They're calling for 10s, and here's why. She is just amazing at floor. She's a great tumbler, but look how she finds her landing. She doesn't even need to take a lunge back because she sticks it, and so we'll see what the judges do with it, but Coach Mike is happy with that.
Yes, he was. Yeah, Michigan State calling for the 10. They'll be able to drop a 9-4 on the floor, awaiting that score and their final team total on the floor. We'll get you that when we come back. Rotation 1 in the books from our third Big Ten quad meet of the weekend.